Let's jump right into this explainer. Today we're decoding Numbers chapter 8, and honestly, it is packed with some fascinating ancient rituals, divine substitutes, and, believe it or not, some surprisingly strict ancient labor laws.
To kick things off, I want you to think about the number 50. Long before 401ks or modern pensions were ever a thing, 50 was actually the mandatory retirement age for a really high-stakes ancient job that we're about to dive into. Pretty wild, right?
Okay, let's hit section 1, the golden candlestick and divine craftsmanship.
This is a perfect example of the meticulous craftsmanship required just for lighting the tabernacle. Aaron was specifically commanded to make sure these 7 lamps illuminated the space right in front of this gorgeous, beaten gold candlestick. And it wasn't just any design, it was hammered out exactly to a divine pattern that had been shown to Moses. They were literally following a blueprint from above.
Moving right along to section 2, purifying the priesthood and preparing the Levites.
So, talk about an intense onboarding process. If you were a Levite, just to be considered clean, you had to go through this rigorous physical transformation. We're talking being sprinkled with purifying water, completely washing your clothes, and, perhaps the most surprising part, shaving off absolutely all of your body hair. Just wow!
And right after that extreme physical washing, there was this massive community event. Picture the entire assembly of Israel coming together to lay their hands on the Levites. Then, the Levites turn around and lay their hands on 2 young bullocks. They offer one as a sin offering and the other as a burnt offering, throwing in some fine flour and oil to perfectly finalize their atonement before the Lord. It was a huge production.
Which brings us to what I like to call the divine swap. See, God explicitly takes the Levites as his own direct substitute for all the firstborn of Israel. They're essentially given as a gift to Aaron to handle the service. And this was absolutely crucial to ensure that no plague would break out when the people approached the sanctuary.
Let's wrap up with section 3, an ancient retirement plan and the Levite career timeline. You know, it's fascinating because this ancient career path was strictly, and I mean strictly mapped out. A Levite starts their tabernacle service at age 25. They put in exactly 25 years of grueling work, and then they hit that mandatory retirement from heavy duties right at age 50.
The big takeaway here is how explicitly the text protects older workers. At 50, they, quote, cease waiting upon the service. But here's the cool part. They don't just vanish. Instead, they shift away from the heavy physical labor and move into a respected mentorship role, simply keeping the charge with their brethren. It's essentially an ancient career transition plan.
So, as we finish up this explainer, it leaves us with a really fascinating question to ponder. How do these highly structured ancient civic duties, from the intense onboarding rituals to a strict mandatory retirement age, echo the workforce systems that we rely on every single day? Keep that in mind as you go about your day. Thanks so much for joining me.